Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Yeah, I have no idea what y'all talking about. I do have an opener you probably not gonna like be a part of.
I'm gonna hide behind this.
Oh baby.
Alright.
It's Friday. 9 days, 11 hours, about 55 seconds until we get a bracket in our hands. Now we can use simple arithmetic to break down and get some winners. Cannot wait. The madness seems realer and realer every day that passes. Last night, a few great moments and buzzer beaters in some of these low conference tournaments, and you just gotta love it. One thing though, before we dive in to the college hoops, actually two things. I'll save one of them for later. I want to talk about Anthony Edwards and the special block he did last night, but I want to talk about that with my man JCP, Jaden Chandler Parnell from the JC Pod, who will be here with me shortly. But before he enters the show, I want to say something to Brian Winworth. Woodworth? Winworth? Winworth.
Who is it?
I honestly don't know the name. I know it, but I feel like I don't know it at this moment.
Brian
Uh,
Windhorst? Is who you're talking about?
yeah, triple net guy from ESPN,
Windhorst, yeah.
Brian Windhorst. I heard some comments that he said about my second favorite player of all time, the great Allen Iverson, and how his game wouldn't translate today's game. They wouldn't allow him to play because of him shooting 41% and jacking 80 shots a game. I just want to say two things. One of them is that's the problem with the NBA today. You don't want real hoopers. You want some robotic shooter that can shoot 50% and can't do nothing else. That's why the fans don't watch anymore. Because the shit is whack. Second thing I'm going to say, and this is personal, and I hope I don't get any charges. Probably nobody will listen to it anyway. And I'm not threatening nobody. I'm not looking for nobody. I'm not going to go out of my way to find nobody. But if I ever see Brian Wentworth, I'm going to slap the hell out of that man for Allen Iverson. But with that being said, it is March, baby, and it is madness. Syracuse and Oregon both played their way out of the tournament this weekend. Cannot believe Oregon lost last night at home in a must-win situation, in my opinion. Of course, there is chances to dance, of course, with the conference tournaments. But let's be honest. Oregon and Syracuse winning a conference tournament. Now that is a good laugh. But anyway, let's talk about some things. Got a great show for you today. Like I said, as every Friday, my man Jaden Chandler Parnell took some time out of his day to come bless us with his presence. Me and him will break down a bunch of things, mostly pertaining to March. This is Captain by a Hook with the Red Beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. I am Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs, going live on a beautiful Friday, the 8th of March, the 68th day of the year. Get my newspaper out the frame. For all you young cats, don't know what a newspaper is. Yeah, without further ado, though, let me bring my man Jaden Chandler Parnell in and get down and dirty. I do want to open this up before we jump into college. We was talking about this a little bit before we went live. Anthony Edwards is special. The
Freaky.
kid, if he could put the mental aspect to it, I really do think he could be one of the greats when his time is done. I feel like I don't think he takes nights off, but I feel like last season he took the whole season off, and now he's playing how I thought he should have been playing. And I could be wrong. It takes cats a few years to figure it out. What's your thoughts on
Yeah,
Anthony
I think
Edwards?
you're.
I thought he was going to
I was
be
about to say that.
most improved player last year, and he was nowhere close. And now this year he's taking leaps and bounds.
Yeah, no, I don't know actually, like stat wise, how he did last year. I thought he still did all right last year. Probably wasn't anything like obviously what we expect from number one overall. He was number one overall, right? I think whatever pick he was, I'm pretty sure he might have been number one. I don't know.
I doubt
I
it.
forget where. I honestly forget where he was picked. I know it was high. I just can't remember what it was. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
what
that
like
boy
what you
went to
said.
Georgia.
I actually don't honestly remember where he's been. I'm just talking on my ass at this point. I feel like he's picked one, but I could be totally wrong about that. But no, honestly, being said, it's impressive what he's been doing lately. It's truly like the step up he has taken is really special. You just hear people talk about Minnesota more. He was one.
Yeah,
Hey, I felt like he was. I just say I remember him being like a big.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I forget why, but I just remember like him being like hyped up, super hyped up because people were expecting this, and then I think yeah, it just took a year of finding himself, and then nobody's talking about Minnesota basketball before this year, really. And by the way, the Minnesota Timberwolves, so I'm pretty sure they're a number one seed, right? Might be mistaken.
I think they just lost it this week to OKC. They might have gained it
Damn,
back or tied them again. I,
damn.
I don't really follow. I just be hearing things.
Oh yeah, honestly though,
Honestly,
between them and OKC, both of those two young teams are having amazing years this year, and one's because of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and the other one's because of Anthony Edwards, who yeah, freaky last night what he did with that block. The athleticism is out the world. I mean, he has LeBron's athleticism. Obviously, he's smaller, but I would say he has LeBron's athleticism, maybe even better. With I would say better shooting at a younger age. Like he truly has some chance to be special. Honestly.
100%. 100%. Now it's crazy. You could if you watch the clip, I felt like I saw him realize what was happening. Like he was kind of like jogging, and then he's like, oh, "Hold on, motherfucker, think he about to lay it up?" He just boom, super gear.
Oh yeah,
And I need to
I
stop
love that.
watching because they are in first place, half a game lead over OKC, one
Bro, no,
game
you
lead
need to
over
correct me on
Denver.
NBA stuff. NBA stuff, 100% gotta correct me on. I'm just glad I'm 2 for 2 because I don't know how many more of those we're gonna make. No, honestly though, it is really impressive what he's been doing, and yeah, it's. I think him watching him. I love the competitiveness he actually has. I mean, it can flip both ways though. He can. I love his personality in general. He's one of those dudes. He can go straight up to be like, screw it. I don't care about this game at all. To like literally next second, he's like, actually, you know what? I care a lot about this game. I'm going to try really hard. Like when he, like you said, when he actually wants to turn it on, he has a switch that he can totally turn on.
Special.
And there's times like I heard like the NBA All Star game where he's just kind of like, I'm not trying at all. Screw it.
Yeah,
And
it's
he's going the
heartbreaking.
opposite way.
Because imagine
Yeah,
how
it's
many
just
kids are watching you for the first time.
yeah, and it's just that's the big. Wasn't that AI who said that? I think Kobe said that too as well. Like it's one of those things that speaking of shout out AI. It's just one of those things that yeah, it's once you get to like obviously I get 82 games a year, excuse me. Like you don't want to like go all out. But I mean, even then, like I'm not gonna get into that part. We've been over down that road 1,000 times before, but yeah. When they care, it's truly awesome. It just would be awesome if they cared every single night. It would make better
Yeah,
product. But also at the same time, I
that's
get
what
how
I
many games
miss.
there is. So it's like
But see, I miss when they cared 82 games a night. I miss when you could put the TV on middle of December, middle of February on Wednesday night, watch an NBA game, and it mattered to the players.
right. Like don't
Even
get
if
me wrong. No, go ahead. Sorry.
even if it don't matter playoff wise but it mattered to them. You could tell everybody on the floor wanted to win.
I was gonna say, like, obviously that does matter 100%. I was gonna say there's the one teams I kind of understand that for is like, when you play like the Hornets and Wizards, I understand like, okay, this is the kind of night where we'll maybe take it back to like 80% because we should beat them. But most of the year, I would say, yeah, 90% of the time they should be like almost all out, trying to win, playing their best, and then there's occasional letdown spots, obviously, with those teams. But I just feel like half the time, like if a team goes down, like some teams, they go down 15, they already pack it up and they're getting ready for tomorrow. Like it's crazy how some teams work, and then there's other teams that like they see a 20-point deficit and be like, all right, we're good. It's crazy how different
Yeah.
the NBA is.
Nah, and it's all personalities. Like you said, I'm sure there's players on the bench when they down 15 talking about what club they about to go to, and I'm sure other teams got players talking about how we gonna make a change and come back. And I'm sure it's and that's what they mean about culture. Like culture is more than just we're gonna work out in July getting ready for the season. It's how we act on the bench when we down, how we act in the locker room at half. It's the mindset you bring to it on a daily basis, bring to practice. I'm looking at these stats right now, not stats, these standings right now. I didn't realize Orlando was in fourth place in the East.
They're in
Uh,
fourth now. Holy hell!
yeah,
Shout
nobody's
out
talking about
Orlando.
Orlando and the
They've
Magic.
been sneaky good. Nobody seriously, nobody's talking about Orlando.
Now I saw a stat. That boy
Paulo's been.
Paulo
I know Paulo and
Banchero,
France have been
yeah,
good.
Paulo's dropping like 25, 6, and 6 the last 2 months.
Ooh, yeah, that boy been balling. I know I bet on him to score 25 the other day, and the boy scored 22. I do know that. That boy scored 29 twice in a row. I'm like, man, I think I might have found something. He scored 22. It's like, damn it. Shout
You
out
know what's
Paulo for real
funny?
though. He actually has been balling.
Because as gamblers, like a lot of people, like I know me and you, I'm not gonna say we're different or better than anybody, but I know a lot of people that would take that experience and just call that man trash the rest of his life because he didn't cover one prop for
Oh,
you.
he probably got called trash once or twice, but I honestly no. I do love Paulo though for real. Like it's one of those things where I think he has a lot of talent potential as well. Like watching him in France. Obviously, I don't watch Magic games. Let's be real, but seeing what I've seen. Let me rephrase it. Hearing what I've heard about Franz and Paulo, it's a lot to look forward to for the Magic. They just feel like they're like one superstar away, but ever since Dwight Howard, I can't remember a time that the Magic had a superstar like that. It's been a minute.
It has, now that I think about it.
But yeah, ever since Dwight Howard, I can't think of one Magic player where it's like, oh yeah, that's an Orlando Magic. Like if I think of the Orlando Magic, I think of Dwight Howard on the NBA Live cover. I think of Penny Hardaway and Shaq. I have a Shaq
Nah,
jersey right there in the Magic. Like
they
it's been a
really been
minute.
on a 15-year rebuild, and I think they're starting to get in the right
Him and the
direction.
Hornets / Bobcats have been on like a 10 to 15 year rebuild. And the Hornets have had 3 different name changes, 2 arenas, 5 owners. I can't figure shit out. Same with the Wizards, man. Wizards are set. I mean, that's why I'm happy for the Magic. The Magic finally might be getting out of this little strut while you got teams like the Wizards. We're about, by the way, I don't know if you know the stat. The Wizards kind of made fun of the Detroit Pistons for, I think, losing a lot of games.
No, it wasn't the Wizards. It was Kyle Kuzma. Sorry ass.
I didn't want to call out the guy, but yeah, it was that. They're on, I'm pretty sure, a 13 or 14 game losing streak. And the 28th game is against the Detroit Pistons. So there's a chance that if they keep losing, fate might have a chance to reach them. But to be fair, to lose another 15 straight games would be impressive. Shout
You want to know the funniest part about that stat?
out
That
Kuz, man, another Laker.
Oh my God, Kuzma is and Jordan Poole are the worst things that ever happened to the league, and they both together. Just
It's
their
crazy.
mindset.
When I
How
think
did
of
you
the light
kids?
skinned basketball players, those are the 2 names I think of. When they talk about like the stereotypical light skin, yeah, it's those two. Yeah, no, great
Wash,
people. We're talking about basketball players.
Washington Wizards 9-53.
You know what's
Detroit
crazy?
Lions 10-52. Got a
I was
better
about to
record than the Wizards now.
That's crazy. Shout out Kyle Kuzma. No, I was about to say, what'd you say the record was? 9 and what?
53.
For the 4 games from now, we're going to be able to say, hey, that was the Pepperdine Pacific score.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
Man,
a crazy game last
shout
night.
out Pepperdine, by the way.
Perfect
Man, dude, I
transition
saw,
to the collegiate hardwood.
man,
Yeah, I thought my phone
that's
wasn't loading.
tough.
For those that don't know,
Oh my
last
God.
night, the score got a little more respectable towards the end, but at
Little.
halftime, it was 56-9.
Man, I
Pepperdine
was
and
about
Pacific.
50.
To have Pacific's back, because I'm a Pacific fan, believe it or not,
Oh, man.
it's one of my favorite teams. I don't really talk about them; they trash, but I root for them for one reason only. Damon Stoudemire used to be their coach last like 5 years, and they played tough. I used to take them all the time, like plus 37 against teams. That's what I mean by play tough. But Pacific, they did just lose their head coach like literally 2 days ago before that game. I don't know
Oh,
who's
really?
coaching. I'm sure the players checked out. But at the end of the day, that's a man. If I look up at the scoreboard and we down 30-2, it ain't happening, bro.
I made the joke.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, I made the joke to my uncle yesterday because I was talking to a guy. Because I was like, hey, check out the score. It's like, he was like, what do you even say as a coach at halftime? Like, well, first off, you pray you aren't fired walking out of the locker room out of half. But no, that's funny you say that. So apparently the other coach did get fired before this guy, but which I didn't know that. Makes sense. Makes sense now a little bit why the team was just already in so much dysfunction. Usually conference tournament time, that's when you're like, hey, we got a shot here to maybe do something, no matter how bad we are. But boy, them boys are ready to go home, man. I don't know what you do as a coach. You probably just walk into the locker room, you just stare at the ground for a little bit. Yeah, all right, boys. Second half is ours. Now you're walking out of the locker room, just checking all the corners, making sure, like, all right, no one's gonna fire me, no one's tapping on my shoulders. Man, I mean, dude, that's straight. I'm not gonna lie, man. They showed the highlights for like 20 seconds. They showed the coach face at halftime and about sums it up. You just see him going like this, just shaking his head, wiping his hair. It's like, bro just lost 3 years off his life from that one game.
No, it's crazy. The craziest moment I ever had in a locker room. Head coach walks in halftime, cuts me out for 2 seconds, and then he looks at the assistant coach. And the rest of the halftime, he was just talking shit about us to the assistant coach, like we wasn't there. Hey man, I
That's
don't know about
awesome.
these motherfuckers, man. These motherfuckers, and we just all sitting there looking around like, damn. But I will say I was down 22-1 one game also, and
That's tough.
I wasn't having it, bro. I just jacked literally every time. The next like 6 plays, I just jacked threes. Somehow I hit like 4 out of 6 of them things. We not come back. I mean, we
Oh
brought it
shit!
back
Oh shit!
respectively though.
I
It
was about
was
to say
like
that's usually when people
we
get in trouble.
we ended up being like down 12 at the half and lost by 40 anyway. But I was pissed. I was
Man,
pissed.
that's
I will say
hilarious.
this: there was 3 NBA players that was on that other team.
All right, so that's respect. I was about to say that's hella respectable. I was about to say
Nah,
you can't just be getting dropped by 40 by Joe and Schmo out there.
shout out to Bel Air High School. In the same game I'm talking about, I saw one of the most amazing athletic things I've ever seen, and I'm right there. It's happening, not
That
on
Josh
me,
Gordon and jeans.
and that was crazy too. That was crazy. But this dude catches the rebound, like about to put it back, but he drops it, like literally drops it, catches it at his waist, and just windmills it and still dunks it. And I'm just standing there on the box, like, all right, these boys going to the league for real. This is like in high
These
school,
boys
of
are
course.
different.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
sitting there
crazy. Yeah,
trying
and
to
I'm not.
box out somebody else, and he just come and do that shit. I was like, all right, ain't no boxing these motherfuckers out. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. I would make sure I'm not guarding that guy at all that whole game. That's at any time. That's like I hope a screen is jumping. Second screen jumping. Hey, switch. I ain't getting windmilled on. Hell no. Dude,
Yeah,
that is freaky, man. So it's crazy how, like, speaking of going back to Anthony Edwards a little bit, it's crazy how some like people are just
gifted.
freaky and got that bounce. Yeah,
And that
like
dude
it's
that did that wasn't even nice. I think he was like a football player. He like couldn't dribble, couldn't shoot, but that hops, bro. It was, whew.
man.
Now I
I
got
was about to
another.
say it's crazy.
I was
It's
guarding
wild.
Sheldon McClinton. Shout out to Sheldon McClinton. Drafted by the Wizards, never touched the floor. I outscored
Hey,
him once or
more
twice
so
in
than
my
drafted.
heyday. But anyway, speaking of
Shout
horrible
out.
teams, real quick, before we get into good teams, I got a question for you about 2 teams. They got a game tomorrow. Both of these
Rutgers.
teams have a chance to save themselves from going over in conference play.
Oh,
Do you think, and I forgot who Missouri plays, Missouri 0-16 conference play, DePaul 0-16 conference play. DePaul
that's tough.
plays DePaul plays Seton Hall at home. I'm about to look up who Missouri plays. No
Man, I know
chance,
for sure that
slim
Seton Hall
chance,
one.
fat chance.
I don't think that Seton Hall one's happening. After the way I saw the, I won't lie. I watched Seton Hall play last game against Villanova. And if they're able to play like that for a lot of the season, they're going to be okay. They were hitting some threes. That Kadari Richmond, that boy, kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. Watching
Love
him, that
them.
boy, kind of nice. Yeah, no, I don't know about DePaul, Missouri. Kind of depends who they play. I actually don't know who they play either. I was trying to scroll and maybe beat you to it,
I
but
know. I was trying to find the way you talked. I want to
yeah,
say
but what?
sorry. Nah,
Oh, yeah.
ESPN. Shout out to them for
Yep.
effing up everything.
Now Seton Hall though, I think Seton Hall is going to win that game because I think they're like 2 or 3 wins away from securing themselves pretty much guaranteed in the tournament. So I think that DePaul game like that they can't mess that up. If they lose that, they're out of the tournament. I think I'm pretty sure it's that bad for them if that happens. Missouri
Yeah.
plays LSU.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
I thought about going. That's how funny that is.
8-22 versus 16-14. I won't lie. LSU probably should handle that based on how LSU's played. Like they've been kind of, I'm not gonna say
The last
good,
two
but
weeks at home.
they've been playing decent at home. I'm not gonna lie. They've had stolen a few games last 2 weeks, kept a lot of games close. Shout out that boy who literally front and brick that wide open floater, and then they decided just to go on a like 15 game streak after that. Like couldn't just added that one to the belt, but we don't gotta talk about that. Anyway, no, I think those teams just lose out at this point. Man, it's crazy. Didn't DePaul used to be like kind of decent? I don't remember them being any good at all anymore in my lifetime recently, but I feel like they were good at one point, and then all of a sudden they just been ass lately. T-ball, they've been ass lately.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
been a while. It's almost been they've been ass for a while. That's almost like
I know. I'm trying to think of that coach. I know exactly you're talking about. It was like early 2000s. There was nice. That's
yes,
the thing about college hoops, man. It's really all about the coach. Like you bring in you're a small program. You're not gonna bring in
St.
I don't
John's.
know. I don't know the word. Yeah, but that St. John's a little bigger than DePaul, don't you think?
Is it? I actually don't know. I thought they'd be somewhat similar. I didn't think St. John's was like that big.
St. John's has dozens and dozens and dozens of NBA greats. I can't think of one person from DePaul that ever went to the NBA.
Grant Hill.
He didn't go to DePaul.
No, I know somebody went. I know somebody went to DePaul, but I can't think of who.
Grant
I
Will
see
went
his
to
face right
Duke,
now.
the Dookie Blue
I know.
Devils.
I know. Yeah, that's not him. DePaul NBA players: Mark Aguirre, Terry Cummings. I was thinking Terry Cummings. That's what I was thinking of, honestly. Shout out Terry.
Shout out
Quentin
to Terry.
Richardson. That's a decent one.
That is.
George
Shout out to
George
Quentin.
Mikan. Yeah, I won't lie. There's a lot of black and white photos. By a lot, I mean there's like 5 or 6. Now there's like 8 or 10. It's so we'll just
Nah,
say no one in recent history.
nah, it is crazy how that happens. You know me. I watch a lot of old college hoops as well as present college hoops, and it's crazy how they'll be like, during the 1950s, and they'll say some random ass school was like a powerhouse, and I'll be like, huh?
Nice. It's like they were
Utah
nice,
Tech? Nah,
right? And then you're thinking now it's like they haven't won a game in 8 years. They're just running the league back then, like Rutgers in football. How they have like that 1920 or Nebraska, sorry, they got that 1920 and then that 1980s thing, and then ever since they've just been ass. Crazy.
yes, sir.
But yeah,
Speaking of
no,
some,
I don't think either of those teams win. By the way,
yeah, I
they're
don't
going
think so
over.
either. I just wanted to bring it up. Going over.
Tough. It's tough. Those are two tough matchups. Not gonna lie.
You know, man, it's heartbreaking though when I see kids go over, bro. Only
If Missouri
cause,
played Vanderbilt, I would say maybe.
yeah.
What were you
Oh,
saying though about the kids?
I just feel bad for kids that go over. You never forget it. My junior year, we went 0-12 in district.
It is tough.
Stays
I
with you.
thankfully I don't think yeah, I don't think I was shout out to my coaches. I don't think we've ever went over in conference, thank God,
I would
because
say shout out to my coach.
hey, I know I was a part of it, but man. There were some
Yeah,
games, especially football. I'm very proud of the football one. I take away COVID, man. We could have seriously won. I think conference. They would have been on like their 8th or 9th in a row. I'm still. That's the one I'm pissed about. Is goddamn COVID and fucking all of that, man. I think they beat our ass that game too. I'm not gonna. Quarterback didn't play the best. But I'm not gonna act like we didn't give up like 40 points either. So it's like, man, that one
mm,
sticks. I won't lie. That one sticks with me. It's like, man, SXU could have been on a like a 9-peat right now.
we
That
could have been
conference stuff sticks with
could
you
have been a
truly.
part of it. Yeah, it means
Yeah.
something.
Say I'm only 3 now instead of saying 9 in a row. I'm 3 for 4. Yeah, big
Yeah,
old stain on that COVID season, bro. COVID was wild.
hey,
By the
3-1 ain't
way,
bad.
shout out COVID, man, for being absolutely freezing cold, -20-degree weather. Not even 2 years later in February, it's like 60 degrees and sunny. That would have been fun to play in. But anyway, we're talking college basketball. We ain't talking about me,
Nah, yeah, I feel it though. It's definitely weird.
bro. I was pissed. -10. That was the first game I played in February. By the way, at that point, -10, freezing cold. Had double layers on, heaters on the sideline. 2 years later, it's 70 on the 70 on like the same day. It's like this shit crazy, huh? Sorry, 4 years
Yeah.
later.
Nah, yeah.
I guess
I'm just thinking that is crazy. Sometimes I
dumb.
wonder, and this has nothing to do with sports, and we ain't got to get into it. But sometimes I do wonder if somebody controls the damn weather somehow. But hell
Dude,
no.
sometimes there's somebody up there just like, we getting them today. Hits a button, just smiles. Like, bro, weather, it's crazy how the weather works, man. Like something we truly have no control of that just like decides when it wants to do shit or not. Wild.
Yes, sir. I want to talk about a few games tomorrow, a few teams on the bubble watch, and then I want to kind of dive into some of these bigger name conference tournaments. They're not going to start till next Tuesday or Wednesday, but I know by the time I get you back on the show, we'll be
I'll be all-
talking probably next week. We'll be talking about the finals that's happening Saturday and Sunday,
Woo! That's gonna
and
be
looking
fun.
forward to the madness. But tomorrow, you got a team in Memphis who they're just such a weird team. Because if you look at them on paper, 22-8, 11-6, why the hell should they not be in the tournament? You go look at the bracket. They're not in the last 4 out. They're not in the first 4 out. They're not even being thought of to be in this tournament. They
Crazy.
have a game against Florida Atlantic, who they just beat about 2 games ago at home. Now they're on the road at Florida Atlantic, which in Boca Raton, from what I see and what I hear, one of the toughest places to play. Um, Do you think this is a? I know they can still win the conference tournament, but do you think this game is as pivotal as it is, seeing as they just beat them 2 games ago, or do you think Memphis can afford a loss? And to follow that question, do you think Memphis has a chance to win on the road against Florida Atlantic? Do you trust them? That's a better question.
What do you got a spread for that game, or what do you think the spread will be before?
I think it's going to be somewhere around 4.5 to Florida
Okay.
Atlantic.
Um, man, the only reason I say, I mean, it's pretty obvious. They obviously need this win if they aren't even in the conversation. But the biggest reason I just say they need the win is, yeah, if they beat Florida Atlantic, I think that's all of a sudden the committee's like, well, that's another quad one win. I'm pretty sure. And then if you look at that, Florida Atlantic's whatever they
Squad
are,
2, actually. That's what's
532
crazy
or
about
whatever.
this stuff.
Oh, Florida Atlantic's quad two now.
They beat them literally a week ago, and it's marked as a quad 2 win.
What is Florida Atlantic ranked?
They're not. Well, I don't know their net ranking, but they're not in
Oh,
the
they're
top
ranked anymore.
25.
Oh, that's probably why they're quad two then. I thought they were still in the top 25. That's on me. Well, regardless though, this I mean quad two win is still pretty good. I mean, I feel like regardless, Memphis needs this game. If you're in the conversation at 21-8, obviously there's some question with something in your resume. So it never hurts to add one more game to the resume. And I honestly do think they have a chance. The only issue is it's really hard to beat a team twice, especially when the second game's not even at home. You got to go to the place. That makes it even harder. I mean, we saw that with Villanova against Seton Hall. Villanova whooped Seton Hall's ass at home, and then they go and almost lose by 10. I think they did lose by 10 to them next game. So it's always hard to beat a team twice. I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do in sports is beat a team twice, especially a team that you see like they just saw. Like they're gonna know what they're doing. I mean, it's no secret, especially
Yeah.
if they just saw them just like 2 games ago. Like they are gonna know what they're gonna run pretty well. It's gonna be very fresh in the kids' memories. It's gonna be a tough challenge, but if Memphis does it, I think they truly do have a chance to maybe get themselves in the dance. It's crazy to think that they're 21-8 not in the dance over some teams who are like Oklahoma.
Bro, Oklahoma drives me
I haven't heard a
crazy.
thing about Oklahoma all year. I don't even know
Except
who's
for
on their
me.
team. I don't even know their coaches.
All I know
What?
is they don't deserve to be in this damn tournament. And I was wrong. Memphis is in the next
Yeah.
four out. They're like the last team on the next four out
Are
list.
they now?
Yeah.
They weren't last week.
No, right, right. Speaking of Oklahoma, they definitely do not deserve to be in this tournament. Um, 20-10, I think is their record. Just no impressive losses. I think Memphis got burned by just one 4-game losing streak in the middle of conference play, which does suck. But when you look at it as a whole, you got 8 losses. But speaking of Villanova, I think Memphis deserves to be in this tournament because I don't look at it like this. Oklahoma, they get in the tournament, first round exit, second round exit,
Probably.
guaranteed. Memphis, I think
Guaranteed.
that team has a chance to go to Sweet 16, Elite Eight. I like to see teams that I think can compete and I think can advance. But speaking of Villanova, who's also honestly a team I don't think deserves to be in this tournament at all. They're
I haven't seen
17 and
how get
13.
flipped.
They play in the Big East, so they have had some good wins, some bad losses. They're right now one of the last 4 teams that has a bye, along with Florida Atlantic. Villanova plays Creighton
That's
at
by the
home.
way, I say before that's Villanova. That is pre Seton Hall loss, by the way. This was done. So there's a chance they might be last four by. They might have moved potentially, but I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there because that might change it a little bit, hopefully. Because yeah, I'm
No,
with you. I don't know if they should be in.
I always forget that my show is before they update it.
Yeah,
But
why do
Villanova,
they only play it once a week?
they
By the
do it
way.
every Tuesday and Friday.
Oh, it's Tuesday and Friday. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
So we're gonna miss it, huh?
Oh yeah, literally at 8:30 it'll be updated. My time, 9:30
Dumb.
your time.
Damn. Dumb.
But Villanova, they host Creighton this weekend, and I think this is a must-win game. I think you get into the Big East tournament, and I mean, unless you win it, I don't think Villanova is going to go too deep into it. Creighton on the road, I think Villanova does have a chance. I'm actually thinking about playing Villanova. I have them written down as +3. I would play the +3 at home. Villanova's chances against Creighton, I feel like Creighton's already cemented their. I think a lot of teams cemented that already have their path cemented. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Are gonna not take the day off, but like Tennessee's already locked up the SEC. They're playing for nothing against Kentucky tomorrow. I feel like Creighton's playing for nothing against Villanova. Villanova's at home. I like their chances to win this game outright. 18 and 13, 11 and 9 in Big East play, and they're in the tournament. It's
Interesting.
crazy.
That's weird. I honestly like just seeing some of the teams that are in here. I truly don't understand because it's like Wisconsin even. I did makes no sense how Wisconsin's still that high. I wish they would have lost to Rutgers last night just so I could make this point even more of an emphasis. But it's just Wisconsin was on like an 8-game losing streak and they went from a 6 seed to like an 8 seed. Like
I know.
what? It's like yes, I guess they're losing games in the Big Ten. It's just like am I not watching something right that everyone else is seeing?
I think these guys that run this thing in the committee, and this is gonna be the worst take I've ever had in my life because I hate technology. But I think it's time because these old motherfuckers in suits, bro, they just got their favorite team that they just be. I feel like we gonna get Wisconsin in regardless. We gonna get Oklahoma in regardless. This is like
Right?
my third time in my life. I think Oklahoma does not deserve to be even thought of in the tournament. And they're in the tournament as like a 9 seed, 10 seed. Same thing with Michigan State, my favorite team. I love them to death. 18 and 13, get the hell on out of here, bro.
But think about it. They're trying to expand the tournament. It's like we don't need more like average teams getting in. That's what
Exactly.
I think. That's what I know. This is like kind of off topic. But that's what's kind of killing some of these playoffs. We're getting all these average teams in. It's taken away from the spectacle a little bit.
I think that's ruined the MLB playoffs because honestly, once the MLB playoffs start, I am not interested anymore.
You got to wait what like 2 rounds, then you finally get back into it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of MLB baseball is the race to the playoffs. Like I remember when it was only two teams. I remember it was only a World Series. They didn't even have the playoffs. Top team from the NL, top team from the AL. Y'all play for the World
That's
Series.
crazy. I don't remember that obviously
It was
because
1969. I'm kind of lying when I say I remember.
I thought you made it sound like it was the 70s or 80s. It's like, damn, am I missing something?
But
That-
But still, somehow in the last 50 years, we've gone from no playoffs to literally 3 wildcard teams in each side. Same thing with this tournament. I hate the play in. Not the play in. I don't know what they call it. The Tuesday and Wednesday games. I hate it.
you don't like those?
No,
Why not?
I don't.
I
I
actually
don't.
didn't mind. I don't
I
mind
don't.
two teams fighting for an 11 seed if we can't decide. Like put
It's
Oklahoma there though.
it's fun to watch, but why are we fighting for 11 seed? If two
That
teams
is
deserve
true.
to be 11 seed, it should be somebody move to a 12 seed. Like it never makes sense to me
That is true.
logically, and also I
No, I
do
see what
like
you mean.
watching the
Yes,
games,
figured.
but I just hate the fact that that's. And then you got four
No, I see what
teams
you mean
that
now.
already at a disadvantage. They're 11 or 16 seed. Hey, let's give you an extra game. Make it even harder for you to win. Like
Yeah,
I
that is
just
true
don't
too.
like it. But I guess it what it does though is gives those four teams that lose like, hey, we were in March Madness,
That is true.
but I
Happened
don't
in
count
Notre
it.
Dame.
I still
Okay.
count 64 teams only.
That's just crazy, man. Honestly, to think about because yeah, I mean, you see it. We see it with the college football playoffs too. Like now they're already talking about expanding to 14 teams or 16 teams. Like we haven't even
12 is
seen
too
the 12
much.
yet. Yeah, and it's just we originally had two, but then it's just yeah, and then now you see with the tournament, like you said originally, now they have these play out games, so you can get. It's just crazy. I never thought about that for the 11 seed. That's why it is fascinating because yeah, that is true that now they have these playout games where Wake Forest is an 11 seed, didn't make the tournament, but Norfolk State as a 16 seed did. It's like okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
definitely. Definitely. I mean, I'm gonna watch the shit. I'm gonna bet on the shit. But as
Oh,
far as
easily,
like
yeah.
setting it up, I don't like it. I was trying to explain to my girlfriend last night. Of course, she knows nothing about sports. She's just like, okay, whatever. I'm like, no, no, they're trying to get it to 96 teams. Well, I don't know, why they did it to 68. And she's just like, all right, it's
but,
March.
but you'll get to watch more basketball. It's like that's not the point.
Yeah.
I thought that's hilarious. I thought you were just gonna leave it. My girlfriend knows nothing. I thought you were just gonna leave it there, and I was just like,
Oh no, she's the
"Or just
smartest
drop the
person I
bomb
ever
on her."
met.
But now, when it comes to the field of '96, she don't got a damn fucking clue.
Yeah. Nah. It's weird.
Nah,
I
for
thought
real
my
though.
girlfriend, when I met her just real quick, I thought she was gonna be into sports because she played volleyball. She cares nothing about sports.
That's actually hilarious.
I know. I was like, we're gonna be
She's
watching
like,
the
"I
game
saw it as a
together.
scholarship."
Yeah.
That's funny. Nah, shout out. She's like, "Nah, I just played it. I don't like them." It's like, "Oh, all right." That takes a special breed of person, I'll admit,
Nah, yeah, she's
to
a
be able to
damn
like
dog.
separate that shit. I can play. I'll play volleyball, but basketball, I ain't watching that bullshit. What are you talking about? It's like, wait, what?
Speaking of this, now this is gonna be a funny one. Let me find this real quick. You got Oklahoma right now projected to be a 10 seed. I know it'll change soon. They're taking on Texas tomorrow. I'm trying to find Texas. I know they're in here somewhere. If Texas isn't in this tournament, that's crazy. They are in this tournament. Texas, I just saw them and lost them. Texas is an 8 seed. Oklahoma's a 10 seed. Oklahoma's 20-10. Texas 19-11. Both of these teams 8-9 in Big 12 play. Losing record in conference play, and they're a top 10 seed. Um,
Interesting.
who do you think this game matters to most? Do you think anybody's in jeopardy? I think if one of these teams loses tomorrow and they have a first round exit in the Big 12 conference tournament next week, they're not going to be in the tournament come next Sunday.
I was literally about to say that. I think this game matters a lot. I think I don't want to say this is a fully loser leaves town match, but these are two boxers that one's going to end up being on the ropes by the end of this, and the other one's going to end up getting their hand raised. Because truly, yeah, I think that they have to win. This is much. I don't want to say it's must win, but it's probably must win because they're going to have the same exact record, and then if one goes out early in the tournament and the other one doesn't, all of a sudden it's like we get our Big 12 team in if that's what they really want to do. So I think this matters a lot, truly. Because I didn't realize Oklahoma's 20-10. Like they're having the quietest 20-10 season I've ever seen.
It's because they trash, bro. That is an inflated record from non-conference play where they scheduled literally nobody.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! I have their schedule pulled up now. Central Michigan, Missouri Valley State, Texas State, University of Texas, Rio Grande. Like what the hell?
No,
Green Bay?
that's why I've been screaming F them all year.
Monmouth?
They literally pulled the old okey doke that not many teams do anymore. You schedule nobody in non-conference, go into conference play 16-2, and then end up 20-12 and still make the tournament because you gotta.
They might be safe, by the way. That 2-point loss to Houston. People might be like, "Well, they put up a really good fight against Houston." So I can already see that loss getting argued as basically a win, which is just stupid when it comes to that point in arguments.
If
But
that's the case, where's Ole Miss 20-10?
well, they didn't lose by 2 to the number 1 seed. That's what people do. That's the shit I hate. They did that a lot in football. Well, it's like, well, this loss is technically better than that win. It's like, oh, okay, now we're just getting picky.
A loss is a loss, baby. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I mean, it's obviously all losses come in different shapes and sizes, but it's still regardless should be a stain. Yeah, I don't know. I think this game matters. I mean, they already beat Texas too, so now they gotta travel to Texas. That's gonna be a tough one.
Oh, Texas
One
wins
by
by 20,
15.
bro.
They beat Texas by 15 last time these two teams
Texas
played.
gonna get them
Holy
back.
hell.
Now I remember that because I remember screaming on this show, Texas is underrated, Oklahoma's overrated, and they proved me wrong that day.
And then they just bust that ass like, God damn, 15. Yeesh. Nah, yeah, Oklahoma's an interesting one. I tell you what.
Nah,
How's Notre Dame not in the tourney?
this season?
Yeah, no, I know why they ain't in the tourney. I just
Notre
want to say
Dame?
that you've been yelling about all your teams not being in the tourney. I want to yell about one of mine. Damn it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean I
The
produce
floor
it.
is
We're good.
yours.
No, I
Break it down. Tell me why they should be.
break it down. Notre Dame broke it down this season. They fucking suck. There
At least
ain't
Syracuse
nothing to talk
is
about.
20-10. Same
Yeah,
record
no,
as
like I ain't
Oklahoma,
got nothing.
same record as Texas. Better
I
record
don't
than
think Notre
Michigan
Dame's
State.
20-10. I'm
Nah.
going to go on a limb and say Notre Dame is not 20-10 like Syracuse. Yeah, no, I won't lie. That Syracuse game the other night was really disheartening. I really truly thought they could have a chance to beat Clemson, and then they kept it close, and then they just couldn't do it. That was kind of heartbreaking.
Nah, that's one of the first regular season games in a while I got emotional over.
Yeah, they probably aren't in the tourney now, are they? Because of that one loss. Even though they're like you said, 20-10, they need like almost to damn near win the ACC. I feel like to
Yeah,
put their name in it.
yeah, they need to be at least in the Final Four to even be mentioned. But that's the thing that kills me, bro. Wake Forest that's all they talk about. Wake Forest, Wake Forest, Wake Forest, 18-12.
Damn,
Worst
fuck
record,
Wake Forest,
worst conference record, and worst overall record than Syracuse.
and lost to Georgia Tech. Was down 22-6 at one point, or some dumb shit like that. Come all the way back, and then give up a game winner. Like, God damn, boys. God damn, boys. I won't lie. That might just me being salty better, but yeah, Wake Forest, man, they've been They literally just had to win 2 of their last 3 or something like that, or win like 2 of their last 4, something like that, and they're like 1-4, something like that. Like they've just absolutely trains have fallen off. I know the Wake Forest coach truly has gone through a lot this season. I know it's been a really, really emotional season for that whole team, but
What happened?
man, it's been tough lately. Um, coach's wife going
Hmm.
through. I think I'm gonna butcher it. So I don't know the exact. I know somewhat rough. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's like cancer or something. She's going through some treatments. So he wasn't even with the team until like September, I want to say. Like he missed a lot of time with her and all that. And then apparently his mom now is going through some stuff, some health scares. So he's between who lives, I think they said like in Iowa or something like that. So he's dealing with his wife, and then his mom's a few hours away that he's dealing with health stuff. So the coach has been just all around. So he's been in and out of the team nonstop. There's, I think, at the point they said he missed like 10 days in a row at one point in the season or something like that. That one I don't know about, but he definitely missed some time in the season. So yeah, I just know at least for the Wake Forest coach, like that dude's been shout out to Buddy because he's been going through the hell ringer right now. I was gonna say that
Nah,
for it again, but I'm trying to keep it clean. He's been going through the damn ringer lately with that shit.
nah. Prayers to his family, man. It's tough.
So I think that's a part of why Wake Forest has been so weird this year. It's just their whole season, just like from the head coaching point, has just
Right. That's crazy.
been a
I didn't know
mess. And I
anything
mean
about
it's
that.
yeah, no, I had no clue either until shout out to the Eye on College Basketball podcast. Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander, they were talking about it a little bit, how he literally brought up like, yeah, he's dealing with all this stuff with his wife in the beginning of the season, and now his mom's having health scares. It's like, man, that is tough, dude. That's one tough dude to go through all that shit, man. Then still coach basketball.
Nah, yeah. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Um, Man, I don't even know how to transition from that. It's captain by a hook, baby.
Shout out.
JCP, Rowan Donaghy, Rowan Dobbs. Let's jump into some conference tournaments. The thing that sucks, they don't have odds for the big tournaments because they're still playing. Like, I mean, you can get Big East, but like, I don't see any SEC. I don't see any
Dude,
Big
I
12, Big
know.
10. I don't really see anything to
Dumb.
actually talk numbers and odds. Um, but just so that's why I don't even know how to like really jump into these questions. Let me do it this way.
We can just kind of like talk about teams maybe instead of without the odds because we can kind of. I think you and I can probably kind of guess around what the odds will be for teams. I would say is roughly, especially you. You've been pretty decent with these numbers this year.
Yeah, nah, yeah, I've been impressing myself. Um, let's start with the ACC. I think this conference is pretty top heavy. I mean, I do think you have a dark force like, and you're gonna laugh, Syracuse, Wake Forest, that could maybe,
Virginia.
but that I ain't gonna lie to you. I was about to say UNC, Duke, and Virginia really the only three teams I give a true chance to win this thing to. Clemson on
Mhm.
the fringe. I honestly don't see Clemson beating. Yeah,
No,
I don't think so either.
I don't know. Clemson's weird.
Who would who?
I don't
So
know.
basically, it comes down to UNC and Duke. And honestly,
I
Duke got
think so
tomorrow
too.
night.
So we'll get that's part two, right? We'll get a little bit of a teaser of part two, and then I think yeah, I would not be shocked if those two teams making the final. But don't count out Notre Dame making a run at plus 20. I think what was it 250 to one. But
You
we don't
see?
need to talk.
I
No,
think that's the
honestly, I
only
think I'm
conference
with
that
you.
has a chance.
Clemson, right? No, honestly though, I do think that Clemson obviously has a Wake Forest, Virginia. Those teams all obviously have a true dark horse chance. But I think this is going to be, especially this tournament. I think this is going to be one of those years where I don't think a small team's really going to get it done. I truly do think it's going to be between Duke and North Carolina because I mean they just got to win like 2 games there. I think all
Yeah.
these other teams are going to beat each other up. Just because if you watch the ACC this season, that's what they've done. They just nonstop beat each other up in different spots. Like Wake Forest beats Duke and then loses 5-6. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's
Nah, this conference
yeah.
is very they got the top two, three teams, and then you got like every other team that's literally like pound for pound can go up against each other any day. And just to bring it up to you, Notre Dame's 12 and 18.
Ain't bad. They've had a
Big
few
12,
wins here and there.
they got a few wins. I've been impressed with them. I like their
They
coaching
beat
too,
Wake
the new
Forest.
coach. I miss our boy, but I do like the new coach.
For who? Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I don't even know the dude's name yet. I just like when they're good, I'll start doing more research. Because like I know they got to develop. I know they got years. I'm not even gonna rush it. We'll be like, all right, we'll come back in like a few years once they figure it out.
Yeah. Nah, I love it. Moving over to the Big 12 conference. Of course, everybody's on Houston. Uh, the name brand recognition with Kansas is one is hard to ignore. But in my opinion, the best team in this conference is Baylor. I think Iowa State has a lot of fluff, even though they're 13-4 in the conference. Winners are 4 in a row, 24-6, 18-0 at home. Iowa State is definitely a team you need to respect. But I think this Big 12 is the deepest conference this year. Of course, I'm not the only one who thinks that. But you can look all the way down to really Texas and Kansas State as having a chance. And that's 10 teams right there out of the Big 12 that I really do think have a chance to make a run here.
Yeah, no, I think Big 12's actually pretty wide open. All those teams are good in their own like kind of certain way. And even Iowa State, like I kind of like the Iowa State team. Their defense is amazing. And shout out their coach who's built like
Yeah.
DJ Brickhouse. I forget what his last name is, but I've always called him Brickhouse. This
I
dude is
know you
literally
did
like
this last week and then you looked it up and said it.
yeah, no, it's like Hotzenberger or something like that. Dude has one of the thickest necks I've ever seen. He's just like absolutely jacked. But I mean, they've been playing their defense been really well. Baylor's been playing really well this season. Kansas has 4 guys. Houston's been the number one team in the country for a bit. I mean, this is truly one of those conferences, yeah, where I think it's like wide open. They have 9 teams in the tournament for a reason. I mean, hell, Kansas State could end up coming back and stealing this somehow. Their coach is too bad at all. I know they've had a kind of butt year, but truly, I think that conference. I don't think Kansas State's going to win, by the way, just to say that. But I think that that conference is truly wide open for anybody to steal. Truly, I would have. I mean, obviously, the square pick for me would be Houston, but I kind of like Baylor too. Baylor kind of nice.
You let me
I
tell
don't
you
want to get them
something.
out of Purdue's bracket. They're
I haven't talked
Midwest right
about it
now. It's
yet.
scary.
I think Baylor's gonna win the whole thing this year. Gut feeling. Like I don't have any like I mean I can
That's
read
your.
some stats that could back it up,
That's the
but
team that you got right now.
every time I look at the odds, it's North Carolina, Baylor, and Creighton. Just keep standing out to me. But I mean I always wait for the
Plus
bracket to
three
let me see.
thousand.
Now, you know what I did last night? I put some money on Memphis to win it all. I tell you what, if that happens, I'm retiring. Yeah, y'all will never see Captain
Yeah,
Biohook again if
but
Memphis wins the
I want to
tournament
look.
this year. Oh, you gotta
I want to
scroll.
look at the Memphis odds,
You
but
gotta
it's.
scroll.
I just feel like with how many Memphis conference tournament bets you put in, it's like we'll see him back in a few weeks. It's not even worth looking. That would be dope though if Memphis did one at all. I would. I'd ask you to send me 10%, and then I might retire with you.
Yeah, no, I went a
What
little
are the
too
odds
hard
on
on
it?
it.
Like 100,000 to one or something like that?
Uh, I
Oh,
really
here
don't
they are.
remember.
Holy hell!
What's it
10
like?
to win
60?
6,000.
Yeah,
Woo!
6,000 to one. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's a big boy right there.
yeah, and I put more than 10 on it. Just to let you know.
Oh, that boy living big now over there, huh?
I also put something on something. Oh yeah, I also doubled down on some White Sox futures. Ah, ah,
Hey, I
yeah,
won't lie. I did that last year. I don't know if this
yeah.
year's
Don't
gonna
ride
be
with
the
me.
year.
Don't ride with me. If I say anything about White Sox, Syracuse, or Memphis, just don't ride. Fade me. Michigan State's
Shout
getting
out,
towards that list too. Uh,
man.
but yeah, I don't know, man. I love Baylor. I think they're going to be right there in the final game of this Big 12 tournament. And I think they're going to be a Final Four team as well. Big East, everybody's on
Yep.
UConn. I actually like Creighton. It's my favorite team as far as this Big East tournament goes. Maybe it is because of the odds. As a gambler, I do think they have a chance. It's so hard to knock out the top seed in some of these tournaments the way the bracket is set up, especially in a smaller conference like the Big East. But I mean, this thing's deep too. St. John's can go on a run and win this thing. They've won 4 in a row
I think
since
Butler
getting
can go
cussed
on a
out.
run. I'm kidding.
Um,
I'm
I,
kidding.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
I don't think they will. I just say I once you said St. John's, that's about where I start closing the doors and not letting anybody else in. Is that St. John's line? St. John's, Marquette, Creighton, UConn. I think the top four are probably the four I'm going to go with. As much as I can see Seton Hall and Villanova, they're just going to play too many games where I feel like it's going to catch up to them while these teams get like an extra few days of rest.
Nah, yeah. I think if I had to take a long shot, it'd be St. John's right now. But I do
Mhm.
like Creighton and UConn. Of course, I've been saying all year UConn's the best team in the country, and I don't see nobody else even close.
They've been insane, man. What a 2 year run for them. Shout out UConn, man.
Bro, it's insane.
Crazy.
I think this is the best college basketball team I've witnessed in 10, 20 years.
They might be honestly. Like, I can't argue with it because I can't. Thinking about top, it's crazy. They have no name, like no big names, and they all play amazing. Kim Spencer does his part, and Donovan Clingan does his part. I mean, they got somebody to do a little bit of whatever they need. It's insane.
Yes, sir.
Dan
Moving on
Hurley's the man.
to the Big South. I'm just messing with you. Big Ten, baby.
I
Hit
was
you with
about to
some
pull it up. I'm like, who's in the Big South?
High Point, baby. I
They
love.
play today.
Yeah, I know. If I wish it wasn't
UNC
10-11.
Asheville.
Big Ten, baby. For you, is it Purdue or nothing?
Oh, I mean, it's not Purdue or nothing, but I'm probably going to end up going Purdue or nothing, if we're being honest. I just can't think if anybody's going to steal from. After watching, I mean, Illinois did what Illinois does. They lead for majority of the game, then they blow it at the end. And I could have told you that was going to happen. Shit, I thought that was going to happen 4 hours before the game started. No,
Yeah.
honestly, that's why I can't really trust them. Michigan State. I don't know. I mean, they can play Purdue tough a little bit. Northwestern could play Purdue tough potentially. I truly don't. I just don't know who's going to really like take the Big Ten from them. Honestly, I mean, just unless Zach Edey gets in foul trouble, like it feels like they're just going to be unstoppable in the Big Ten tourney because they only have to play 2 games, so they're going to play somebody who's like kind of meh, and then they're going to play somebody who's decent, and then
Yeah.
I mean, Zach Edey just has to go 20-10, 20-10. Braden Smith has about like what 10-10-10 both those games in its game.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, man. This postseason success for Purdue. As much as everybody talks about Zach Edey, he gonna do his thing regardless. Braden Smith has, in my opinion, the most pressure of any player in the
And
nation.
Day, don't
going-
forget Fletcher Lawyer either. I think he's thrown right in there too. It has to be on those two.
They got to step up defensively, not
Yes.
even scoring wise.
Well, Fletcher Lawyer needs to score. If he can score, that opens up completely everything else for Purdue. But yes, I think defensively, Lance Jones, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, those are going to be the 3 big pieces, especially in this tournament, because we've seen Purdue give up 3 after 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 3. They gave up 14 one game, for God's sake. So it's going to come down to, I think if they can control it. If they can play like they did against Illinois, I thought they did pretty well on the perimeter against Illinois. They allowed them to hit a few here and there, but for the most part, I mean, it felt like they were forcing them a lot of jump shots mid range, going to Zach Edey, which felt good. Yeah, I feel like it's Purdue or nothing for me, just simply because like bias aside too, I just don't know who else to pick in that tournament. I just don't. When it comes to especially the Big Ten, it feels like a game of roulette. You might as well just put the one bullet in, spin the chamber, and hope you pick the right team.
I know.
There's like 4 teams you shouldn't pick. The rest, it's the Big Ten. Anything can happen.
I know, man. Shout out to Michigan, baby.
Yeah, don't pick them. That's one of them and Rutgers.
Juwan Howard, baby.
Man, I can't wait I'm gonna have you on my show here soon, and I'm just gonna let you go in on Juwan Howard. Like, literally, and I'm gonna be like, floor is yours, and then we just need it.
That's the worst basketball coach I've ever seen. Mount West.
He's up there.
The worst I've ever seen.
You said Mike Woodson?
I said Mount West. I was about to switch it. I love
Mike Woodson.
I love.
Shout out to him getting another year, and then Indiana losing their 5-star recruit.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. F the recruit. I love Mike Woodson.
Shout out Mike Woodson, though. I do like him too. Indiana for him hasn't been going the best.
I mean, 17-13.
I'm not saying it's horrible.
12-5 at home. I mean, honestly,
everyone expects Indiana to be a top 5 team.
Indiana could be in the damn tournament.
Yeah, no, I just think everyone expects Indiana to be a top 5 team. So they just
that's ridiculous.
Or top 10 at least. I don't know. Like the way Indiana fans talk, you expect them to be a top 5, top 10 team. That's why I'm saying that. The way I hear Indiana fans talk, like Mike Woodson needs to be gone. I can't believe they're going to keep him another year over Dustin May and all that. It's like,
bro,
right.
Dustin May already said he don't want to leave. Second of all, just because y'all made a movie called Hoosiers, don't mean y'all supposed to be the greatest thing ever.
Hey now. Hey, man, good since Bobby Knight.
I mean, honestly, they had a few good years, Victor Oladipo years, and a few other superstars, but.
Or as my buddy like to call him, Victor Home Depot.
It's recruiting more than coaching. When's the last time they had a true NBA player?
Trace Jackson Davis?
No, I said a true NBA player. Somebody that's going to go to the next level and play. Not somebody
Victor Oladipo?
Yeah.
Victor Home Depot, as my boy said. Shout out. For real, by the way, side note, my boy really thought his name was Victor Home Depot the first few times he heard it. It's like, dude, you might be one of the dumbest people I've ever met. We actually believe that. Mind you, this was about like high schoolish, but he's I'm like, dude, there ain't no I have stories about this kid for days, man. He shout out him, man. He's a goofy boy. His favorite quote of all real quick, his favorite quote of all time, he said, he parted the Red Sea like Jesus. One of my favorite quotes of all time. Like, I will never let that live down. It's like, Jesus. You mean Moses?
Yeah, what did that motherfucker?
One of them biblical boys. He said part of the sea like Jesus. Oh man, that was a great night. Shout out.
Shout out.
Mountain West, though, I have no clue, by the way, for that one. It feels like that's another Russian roulette one.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
They have.
Out of all these conferences, the conference tournament I'm looking forward to following the most is the Mountain West. Going all the way down to Colorado State. My bad, Colorado State. I think all these teams have a chance to win it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I basically, there's not much more I can say that you're probably already said on this channel or have said before. Like the Mountain West is going to be a fun watch. They've been fun all season. Now it's basically time to feel like, all right, who's going to be the champ? They've been, like I said, it's just been a fun watch to watch the Mountain West, man. Hopefully they can finally turn it into some tournament success.
I know. That's been not breaking my heart, but it's been one of the funniest things I've seen. They beat each other up
crazy.
Get all every year, talk, and then every year is first round exit. I mean, last year San Diego State goes all the way.
And I'm like, Mountain West 1-5 in the first round. Mountain West 0-7 in the first round. Mountain West 0-6. Like, damn, y'all.
Yeah, maybe San
Diego
State.
Yeah, shout out to San Diego.
Busted open the floodgates. You want to hear something crazy? I sent you the screenshot. You had Nevada versus Boise State last week. Very similar team as far as stats go. Both of them was on a 5-game winning streak. Ran into a collision course. Now Nevada on a 6-game winning streak, playing the in-state rival tomorrow, the Running Rebels of Las Vegas, who is on a 5-game winning streak. This is going to be a game. This is going to be a damn game.
Burn my hand with how hot them boys are. God damn. The UNLV boys, holy hell, man. Shout out.
Running Rebels. They were 14-10 before this 5-game streak. 19-10 now, 12-5 in conference play. They moved all the way up to 4th in the conference. If they beat Nevada tomorrow, they will end the season 2nd in conference play. Their side, Boise State, Nevada, and them are all 12-5 right now.
That's crazy.
Running Rebels are going to backdoor into this tournament and make some damn noise.
They just might. They just might if they keep playing like this. Holy hell. Talk about picking a time to get hot.
I know. I forget who's at home in that game.
For what, the upcoming one?
Yeah, Nevada.
Probably Nevada, because the way you had it, it was Boise State was on the right side, and I feel like the right side is the home team. So it's probably Nevada, if I had to guess.
That was 2 games ago. That was last game.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You're right. My fault. I was thinking they're playing Boise again. I forgot they're playing. We just talked about they're playing the Rebels. That's on me. Yeah, I actually don't know then.
Nevada's
okay. Well, hey, I was right, but not in the right way.
I need to stop correcting you.
I was right, but I was wrong. That's kind of hilarious. They were home, just not playing Boise State.
Yeah.
I knew them boys are somewhere over there.
Shout out to the Running Rebels, man. They're going to be one of the teams I'll be excited to watch in the tournament. For sure. I'll be rooting for them big to Mount West tournament. F it. Colorado State was my team, but F them. Isaiah Stevens was my guy, but F them.
Dropping them like an old newspaper. Time for the new thing.
Yes, sir. I want to talk about 2 more conferences real quick before we get up out of here. Pac-12, Arizona are against the field. Would you take the field or Arizona?
Who does Caleb Love play for?
Arizona.
Give me the damn field. No, honestly, I have no clue.
Here's something crazy. I screamed about UCLA for months. They go on a 5-game win streak. I feel like I'm right. I keep screaming about UCLA, lose 5 in a row. Yeah, no. Last night I heard you talking about like, there's no way UCLA can lose by 8.5. Right? I'm like, man, I put that bet in at like midnight on Arizona right there because poor UCLA. Man, I'm not gonna lie, UCLA has had a really rough season. But other than Pac-12, I honestly just gotta take Arizona because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say disappointed from what I saw from out of the Pac-12, but I'm not impressed. Just the
the good teams losing to the bad teams in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 bad teams do nothing with those good wins. So it's just like, man, I feel like Arizona was the only one who kind of like separated themselves a little bit. And like Colorado's not bad. Oregon losing last night,
Colorado
that was
might be the
tough.
hottest. 5
They
in a
might.
row.
That'd be the one team I think could maybe steal it because yeah, after watching what Oregon did last night, don't think it's them. Yeah, that was tough.
I know. I feel like Washington State, as great as they are, you already beat
That
Arizona
too. I
at
couldn't think of the other
Arizona.
team.
I
They
feel
lost to
like
Washington
Arizona.
last night.
I know. What the hell is going on? It's like these players, like all these teams, not players individually, but like these teams, and I'm sure they don't even think about it, but they get this high reputation from some wins, and then they're just like, throw that in the trash. We don't like this
Literally
attention.
free fall, just like literally free fall. It's like they're trading the baton. It's like I don't like this shit. Let them talk about you now.
Yeah.
Like, hey, now we're on a 4-game win streak. It's like, oh, now people are watching our games. They're talking about how bad my jump shot is. Nah, fuck this. Here you guys go. It's crazy. It's weird. Like seriously,
Nah,
anytime I look at the Pac-12, like I would have taken Washington State yesterday. I did take Oregon yesterday, and I think both of them lose. It's just like
I was surprised
felt
by
like they
both of
needed
those
those
games.
wins.
Oregon definitely.
I was surprised by a lot yesterday.
Oregon's a team I watched play in November, and I said this is going to be a tournament team to watch for. And over the
They
next
aren't
5 months, they proved me wrong.
crazy. I thought they should have been tournament team too.
I mean, if you look at their resume, even still to this day, 19 and 11, better than some teams. 11 and 8, better than some 9
Oklahoma.
seeds, better than some 8 seeds. Let's move to
Yeah,
the.
but you know how it is.
I know. Politics, politics, politics. Uh, Southeastern, baby. I'm talking SEC.
LSU.
Hey, they got a chance. Um, this is one of my favorite conferences, not only because I'm from the South, but I really do think you got Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, Auburn, South Carolina, and Tennessee, who all could win this thing. Not only win this thing, but parlay this into a deep tournament run.
You said parlay. No,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. When it comes to the Southern Conference, I kind of like Samford over UNC Greensboro. No, I'm kidding. I know we're talking about the SEC.
I love
No,
Samford.
honestly, it's tough, man. Alabama, man. Alabama does looks good one game, and the biggest thing for them is their defense, boy. Oh my God, you can't. There's a reason there's no D in Alabama this year. I think that's going to be the scariest thing for them. Is if they're hitting their threes, they're amazing. When they aren't hitting their threes, they're about as average as they can get. Then you look at Auburn; they just scream fraudulent for whatever reason. I don't know why. They just scream like I don't think they're maybe it's their guard play. I don't know what it is. Something about them just doesn't scream right. Who we got? Who else we got? I think Tennessee. Hell no. South Carolina lost by 40 to Auburn. I'm pretty sure. So it's like I just every one of these teams has like 2 or 3 bad things I can pick apart about each of them. So that's what makes it so hard to pick them. That's also why it could be wide open. Like even Kentucky. Kentucky's had some
Yeah.
weird games lately.
Now
Like it's.
Kentucky is
I
is
wish
one
we
of
could
those
have odds.
teams. I mean, pretty much all these teams outside of Tennessee and South Carolina, defense optional. I mean, Kentucky will let you score
Oh yeah,
100 on them and just hope they score 104.
weird. Yeah, no. Tennessee is probably the only team that I would say has a consistent defense. But then that it all relies on Dalton Connect. If he doesn't have 35 or 40, they're in danger of getting beat. Scary, man. This is weird. SEC is weird this year with how some of these teams are just built.
Yeah. Well, we're either gonna see. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see all these teams out in the first round, but I'm sure I'll definitely be wrong on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be shocked. I think Alabama's probably going to be gone pretty early. Would not be shocked if Kentucky's not in the Sweet 16. Tennessee, I think their defense can at least hopefully get them there, but would not be shocked if they lose. Yeah, no,
I,
there's not a lot of teams this year where I wouldn't be shocked if they're upset. I probably won't pick them to get upset, hopefully, but not going to be shocked.
I'm gonna be honest, man. This is one of those years. I mean, gotta see the bracket, of course. I don't want to make any bold statements, but
You struggling too?
I just think it's gonna be a lot of with my sock. Yeah. Are you talking about with the thing? My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt I bent over. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Boy, was itchy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree with you. Like just looking at the bracket, I broke it down on my show on Thursday. I'm sitting here, it's like I'm picking teams. It's like now that I'm like, and then as I'm going to the next game, I'm like, wait, do I actually think that? Like it's gonna. I think it's one of those years where we could see like 4 15 seeds in the Sweet 16. Like, wait, what? Or we could
That
have all number 1 seeds in the Final Four and be like, oh, that makes sense.
that'd be crazy. And I think two number ones are not making the Sweet 16.
One of them's Purdue. I already know what you're going to say. We don't talk about them. Who's the other? Arizona? Yep, shocker. What do you know? I got to slander my goddamn boys, and then you got to throw Caleb Love in there. Ain't
Hey,
no surprise there.
shout out
No,
Caleb Love.
I don't know. You might be right, though. Honestly, it's going to be a weird tournament. I think I'm excited for it, though. Like, McNeese State, the way they're set up, they could end up going
Oh,
on a run
they're
teams
gonna
like
break
that.
my heart, bro. They are going to break my heart because I'm gonna put a little too much money on them, and I'm gonna take the money line instead of the points, and they're gonna lose by 2, and it was +8, and I'm gonna just be killing myself. They're gonna break my heart.
Already prepping for it.
They're gonna break my heart. I know it. Especially if they win. Especially if they I hope they
Oh
just
my
lose
god,
the first game and just get it over with. Because if
it's gonna
they,
be.
it,
Oh man,
I'm gonna start just rolling over that money every time, and then just it's gonna break my
I
heart.
was about to say that's gonna become like crack to you. Be like, oh, McNeese, they back, baby. It's like, man, I don't know. Scratching the shit out of your arm, like fuck it. And then you quadruple down, they lose. You're like, God damn it, I didn't have quadruple down money, and I still did it anyway. Shout out Rutgers. I tripled down yesterday on that dumb shit. It was like half units. I think the 2 double downs were not that big. Shout out though.
Hey
Shout out double
man,
downing.
I apologize.
Sometimes you're a hero. No, it's not on you. I was gonna take Rutgers regardless. I needed a 7 p.m. game to watch at work, baby.
9.5, bro.
Dude, and it was covering all game. And then they lost
Wisconsin.
by 12.
I don't think I've seen Wisconsin win a game by double digits all season.
No, I've watched Wisconsin blow games by double digits all season because I've been on like 8. That's why I'm so mad. I've been on like 18 of those games this year where it's like, oh, they blew that game again. Oh,
And,
shocker, Wisconsin blew that game.
and
Man,
Rutgers
and
has
one game they're like, you know what? We're gonna turn it on. 19-2 run, by the way. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna shout out these Rutgers kids and like bury them when they're down, but man, boy, do y'all Butterfingers before the game? I mean, holy hell, they were getting stripped, getting poked. I mean, they were letting Chucky Hepburn do the same move like 4 times. There's one pass. Oh my god, this kid. I would have slapped this kid if I was a coach. Literally, you can see Chucky like starting to get ready to sprint, and the kid just goes, throws the slowest chest pass I've ever seen. You just see him bolt and grab it. It's like, you know what? Shout out Rutgers, man, though. They at least made it 12 to where now we can complain about them. They were originally losing by 17. They wouldn't even got brought up today. So shout out to them for making it back into the combo by making it close.
it's just crazy.
Jazz boys.
Rutgers was like a week ago. All you hear in the media is they got the best defense in the nation. They are holding teams
Yep.
to.
Yep. I'm watching a 19-2 run. Like, where the hell is this defense at?
Yeah.
Airballing shots, breaking the back iron. Shout out that boy Griffiths, though. My boy Goggle Griffiths. That boy got his jumper on him.
Yeah.
Boy, dude, that boy reminded me of Duncan Robinson a little bit.
Yeah.
No, he's supposed to apparently go to UConn. He's a UConn guy, but went to Rutgers. So shout out. Eddie, wish he was at UConn.
You know what I
Probably
think of
wouldn't be playing much, but
every time I think of Duncan Robinson?
Juwan Howard.
No, this was before Juwan Howard. This is actually when Memphis was in the Final Four, Elite Eight. I don't remember which one it was, but this was in the conference. This was in the tournament. They're deep in the tournament. This is when actually Jordan Poole was a damn beast. He should have stayed in college 2 more years and mature, both body and mind. But then he wouldn't have that ring.
And his legacy wouldn't be cemented.
But Duncan Robinson, I think, is down 2, down 3. Long story short, we need a shot. Seconds on the clock, ticking down. He catches the ball in the corner. And this is why I'm so surprised this man's even an NBA player. He catches the ball, shitted on himself. Like he was so scared and nervous in that corner, bro, for that shot. That's all I think about every time I see Duncan Robinson.
And he's so much of a better player from that point. Like if you watch him in the NBA, he's like leaps and bounds above where he is now. He's firing from like 40 feet back from the logo, hitting shit now, actually driving on layups. Like watching because I often follow Heat on Twitter. Seeing some of these clips, man, it's impressive. It's like, man, it just makes you crazy. It's like I thought this guy was in the NBA, would make the NBA. Dude doesn't even make a roster, and then this guy's like Duncan Robinson. It's like, how the hell is this guy in the NBA? And you watch him, it's like, oh damn, this boy kind of nice a little bit.
No, hats off to Duncan Robinson for improving, and hats off to the Heat organization for seeing that in him and taking a chance on him. And I'm sure they're a big part of it.
Shout out Jaime Jaquez too. We're talking Heat.
That boy was a beast in college.
I love that guy so much. So glad he's a Heat.
No, he's definitely Heat culture.
Shout out Mick Cronin. Race the boy right.
The boy Mick, one of my favorites, man. Top five. Top five.
But he ain't 5.
He probably five. He's around five. I'm trying to think,
Hey, you in
man.
the club though?
Bob Huggins, Mick Cronin, Jim
Jerry
Boeheim,
Lucas,
Tom Izzo. I honestly can't even think of
Matt
another one.
Painter. Just say it. Come on, Matt Painter. Throw it in there. You know you love him.
I'm gonna be honest with
Juwan
you.
Howard,
Matt
Penny
Painter,
Hardaway.
Matt Painter is one of those coaches that I am surprised still has a job.
Fourth
I'm
all
not
time in the
saying he
Big
needs to
Ten.
be fired. I'm just saying he's never won a damn thing.
He's fourth all time with Big Ten championships. He has 7,
Regular season?
probably. Probably regular season, for being honest. They said it in a regular season game, so I'm assuming so.
Oh my
Shut up,
God.
Purdue, man.
I know.
I can't
I need
figure
to,
out Matt Painter. I think I love him still.
I
We'll see
don't
how
hate
it
him.
is in a few weeks.
I mean, that's the thing about college hoops, man. It's like it's so hard. I mean, Boeheim and Syracuse, I said it the other day. He coached from 76, didn't win one till '03. You just got to get one as a coach though to get it off your back. Because ever since '03, I
All you
mean,
need is one.
Syracuse been trash, and he's still been just nobody said nothing about him. Yeah,
Post it up. Shut up, Mayhem, though.
shout out, man. Any last thoughts on anything, any team, today's games, yesterday's games, your dogs, your grandma, anything you want to shout out before you get out of here?
I'm just ready for the madness, man. I'm happy. I'm ready for next week. I don't even want to bullshit. I'm ready for next week so I can come on. We're talking conference tournaments, and then we're talking bracket, baby.
No, I
Can't
am
wait,
too. Every day I gotta remind myself that the tournament don't start next week.
dude.
Ever
It's
since March,
hard.
I'm like ready for this thing. I wish they would end the damn like I don't want to see no regular season games. I don't want to watch Kentucky and Tennessee tomorrow. I don't give a damn about Creighton and Villanova. Let's get to the damn conference tournaments that matter
Real,
and get to the
real
damn
quick, then.
tournament.
Would you rather them cut out games or move the season up? Like move the season
Honestly,
up like two,
I
three
would just
weeks,
rather
or
them cut the season short a week. I don't care
so
about it
yeah, just
starting any
cut out like
earlier.
what two games or something like that.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
like
They
instead
probably
of
can
this,
manage it.
I mean, we just watched Rutgers and Wisconsin for what last night? We should be watching the Big Ten tournament right now. We should be getting the bracket
True.
on this Sunday. March Madness should be starting before April.
Crack addicts like me wouldn't be betting Rutgers, Wisconsin. So I'm with you.
This is the latest it's ever started, too. I mean, usually it's the 14th to 17th, and we're talking about the 21st and 22nd this year. Usually the
Dude, I
championship games April 1st. It's April 8th. Everything just got pushed back a week, and I
I
don't like it.
know. It's crazy. I don't like how everything keeps getting pushed back. I don't like it.
I'm trying to get more money, baby.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited, man. Can't wait. Can't wait. Hey, I'll see y'all. See y'all next week then. And hey, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna say it again. See y'all next week and much love, my boy. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on. My man Jaden Chandler Parnell from the JC Pod. Check him out, man. Appreciate him spending some time with us. Real quickly, let's dive into Manana's games. That's tomorrow's games for you non-speakers. This is gonna be probably the last weekend I do Saturday numbers. Next weekend I might do it. It'll be conference tournaments. We'll see what happens. I don't even know if I have matchups on Friday morning because they're gonna play Friday, winners play Saturday. Long story short, this felt special writing this down this morning. The last one of the year, regular season in my head, at least. This is the last one. I'm gonna run through these quickly. Got a lot of them here. These are numbers for tomorrow. I probably shouldn't have to explain this. I've been doing it the last 2 seasons every Friday, but these are my numbers. It's Friday morning, 8 a.m. No numbers for Saturday has came out yet. You write these numbers down, draw a line, and then you write the real numbers down. Tonight, I'm giving you homework. Yes. And then you bet the difference. Don't bet the difference the wrong way. Like some, I've had some people that don't really know about gambling hit me up like, yeah, if it's +3, don't bet +1. You bet +5. That's how you bet the difference. -7, don't bet -9. You bet -5. Anyway, we're gonna go Alabama -9.5. Uh, they're taking on Arkansas. I don't know if I remember everybody that everybody's played. I'll try to pull it up just in case y'all care. Alabama 9.5 over Arkansas. Memphis 4.5. I got them plus 4.5 taking on Florida Atlantic at Florida Atlantic. I like Memphis, man. I think they got something to prove, and I think they will prove it. Might even be a fool and play the money line on that one. St. John's. Give me St. John's minus 8.5 taking on Georgetown. 1-4 in a row. Rick Pitino's been on his guys. I think they prove it this game and put the hammer on Georgetown. I think they win by 15 or more. I like the number somewhere around 8.5. I'd hate to give you 14.5 in the backdoor break you. 8.5 is the comfortable number I have for that game. Yale, they're taking on Brown. I'm talking Ivy League hoops, baby. Give me Yale minus 11.5. Uh, Texas taking on Oklahoma. Give me Texas minus 3.5. I think Texas proves a point this weekend against Oklahoma, and they need to. Believe me. Villanova, another team where this game matters a lot. They're taking on Creighton at home. Give me Villanova plus 3. South Carolina taking on Mississippi State. South Carolina might be one of the most disrespected ranked teams from what I've heard around the town. Give me South Carolina minus 1.5 on the road this weekend. And then moving to some small schools real quick. What? Richmond. They're taking on George Mason. Give me Richmond on the road minus 4. Love the Richmond Spiders, man. Been rooting for them for about a decade now. Finally, I can actually root for them out loud. 23-7, 15-2 in conference play. Shout out to Richmond. I think they end their season on a bang tomorrow. Regular season, that is. South Florida, they're taking on Tulsa. I think South Florida ends this season 17-1. I think they ended on a 16-17 game win streak. Um, I'm gonna take South Florida tomorrow. Take a minus 2.5, taking on Tulsa. Give me Vermont, another small one. This is American East actual playoff, quarterfinal of the conference tournament. Give me Vermont minus 6.5 tomorrow, taking on UA. I'll never heard of them. Uh, Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs, the Texters. Louisiana Tech, they host Middle Tennessee out there in Ruston, Louisiana. Give me a Louisiana Tech minus 5.5 at home tomorrow. They've had an amazing season. Let's stamp it and end it with an exclamation point. Kansas taking on Houston. Houston still, uh, they lose. Iowa State wins. They tie and split the share of the Big 12 regular season title. I think Calvin Sampson wants that title. First year in the Big 12. Everybody, including myself, said they would have a bad Big 12 season because they're not used to playing Big 12 competition. Give me Kansas plus 3.5, 3 and a hook. Give me Houston at home minus. I really don't know. I don't know why I even wrote this game down. One of the games I'm more interested in. Kansas needs to get their mojo right. They're 10-7 in Big 12 play, which stinks for Bill Self. Houston, I don't know. Iowa State could lose. They'll know before they take the floor if Iowa State won or lost. So I don't know what Houston's energy is going to be. Let's move on. Kentucky, they're taking on Tennessee. Give me Kentucky plus 4 tomorrow. I think Tennessee's already locked up. I know they've already locked up the SEC regular season tournament, but I think because of that, I'm not saying they're going to take the day off, but give me Kentucky to come out trying to prove something, come out trying to stay hot. Give me Tennessee just having one game where they let down, probably lose by 20 or 30, then come back in the conference tournament and go on a deep run. I do like Tennessee. I like Kentucky tomorrow. Moving over to the Mountain West, Colorado State on the road at Air Force. Give me Colorado State minus 13.5. Colorado State wins this by 20 or more. Give me Colorado State minus 13.5. Air Force, I mean, they've been the punching bag of the Mountain West all season. They've been the DePaul of the Mountain West all season. They've been the Missouri of the, you get it. They stink. Florida, baby, one of my favorite teams before the season. Kind of let me down early, bouncing back with a vengeance. They're taking on Vanderbilt tomorrow. Give me Florida minus 7. I like Florida tomorrow. in this spot. Marquette -6.5. That's the number I have for them taking on Xavier. They're on the road, but I think Marquette wants to prove that we're not uh, UConn's little brother. And you can't prove it against UConn right this second, but you can come out and say, at least we're the second best team in the conference. Give me Marquette taking on Xavier. Marquette -6.5. Another one of my favorite teams. I actually think this is like I heard said it earlier on the show, top 4 teams as far as winning it all. Baylor. I love Baylor. They're on the road against a tough Texas Tech team. Give me Baylor -3. Texas Tech is tough, but I think Baylor's going to pull that one out late. Wake Forest, baby. They need it. They need it bad. They're also at home taking on Clemson. Give me Wake Forest -2 and a hook. I'm talking Ivy League basketball, baby. Give me Princeton on the road -9.5. Princeton wins by double digits over Penn. Sylvania, North Carolina, and Duke. The game everybody's talking about this week. And boy, oh boy, is that cheesy. Give me North Carolina on the money line. Disclaimer: every time Duke, North Carolina play, I take North Carolina on the money line. Shout out to Coach K, losing his regular season final game to North Carolina, losing his final game in the tournament to North Carolina. North Carolina officially owns Coach K and the Dookie Blue Devils. Give me North Carolina money line. Again, disclaimer: always bet North Carolina versus Duke. Not that I have any. I didn't even do any. I didn't even just what I'm betting. Didn't care about looking at it. Didn't care about thinking about it. Auburn at home taking on Georgia. Give me Auburn -9 and a hook. Auburn. I think they win this one by double digits. They've been a damn monster at home to say the least. Utah, Oregon. F them both. Moving on to UConn, baby. They're on the road at Providence. I don't know if they really care about this game, but I do think they're going to want to end the season on a bang. Um, to be honest, I'm kind of hoping UConn gets upset in the Big East tournament. Uh, I think they need one more loss to just get them truly motivated to go on this back-to-back run. And I could be wrong. These kids know what they up against. They trying to go back-to-back regardless. Give me UConn -7.5 tomorrow night on the road at Providence. When you're trying to go back-to-back, you really can't take a game off because then you might take the next game off. Then you might realize, wait, we could still win. Taking the game off, I've been on that problem. Been on teams full of talent that just won't play until they down 10. Georgia Tech taking on Virginia. Shout out Virginia. -2.5 at home is the number I have there. I think they want to end this regular season off with a bang. They're taking on a hungry dog in Georgia Tech. Give me Virginia to keep them starving. Nevada at home taking on the Running Rebels of Las Vegas. Running Rebels of Las Vegas, one of the hottest teams in the nation. Oh, but wait. Nevada, also one of the hottest teams in the nation. Nevada on a 6-game win streak. The Running Rebels of Las Vegas on a 5-game win streak. Both teams 12-5 in Mountain West play. Uh, Winner of this will be second place in the Mountain West. I think that means something for somebody. Give me Nevada -1.5 at home. I think they pull it off by the hair on my chinny chin. UCLA, the mighty Bruins, they end their Pac-12 regular season forever against Arizona State. Give me the mighty Bruins. The reason they call the Pac-12 the Conference of Champions, they're not going out with a loss. If there's a God, UCLA wins this game. Give me UCLA -1 and a hook. That's Saturday's numbers. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the love and thank you for the support. This is Captain by a Hook with the red beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. I am Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs, going live on a beautiful Friday, 64 degrees and sunny. Again, it's March and the madness is here. 9 days away from the bracket. Cannot wait to break that down for you guys. Cannot wait for championship week next week. It's what we've been waiting for since November, baby. It's time to dance. Take all these wagers at your own risk and please, please gamble responsibly.